Good day and warm welcome to this PowerBoost session. My name's Judy, and today we're going to go on a little trip. We're going to take a journey to the center of everything, the center of your life, the center of everything. And we have this term actually in physical well-being called centering. And I think it applies to mental, emotional wellness as well, to be centered. And this idea that when I'm centered, then I can respond much more accurately in a much more powerful and productive way to what's going on around me. And this really applies spiritually. I think it really is a huge part of quality of life in any situation. Because when we go to the center, there are so many resources there that we can draw on to apply to what's going on outside and around us. So let's take a trip, fasten your seatbelt, and away we go. Starting, if you choose, with the eyes comfortably open, it's something you can experiment with. And making sure that the body is relaxed, there's no tension, but still sitting in a very engaged, alert way. And if it helps, you can take a breath or two just to help dissolve any tension that might be in the body. So taking a breath in, and that slow release of air from the lungs is really like magic, helping the body to relax. Maybe another breath in. And again, that slow release of air from the lungs that feels like it's slowing everything down. And I place myself in the vehicle of my own mind. It's through the power of my own thoughts that I'm going on this journey into the center of my own inner space. When astronauts launch to go into outer space, you can see that there's a tremendous amount of power required to break free of gravity. And once they do, they just float. No more struggle or labor. It requires a little bit of attention at the beginning of my journey too, to break free of the gravity of day-to-day thoughts, habituated thinking, ordinary thinking. And so for a moment, I observe the activity of my inner world, what's happening on the ground, on the surface. And there's a lot of thoughts about roles, responsibilities, doingness, time, that pressure of time, all the things I need to do in a certain amount of time. Lots of human doings in my thinking. And I'm not here to try to repress that or destroy that. I simply observe it. I understand it's there as a deep habit, but I also have the capacity for other thoughts. And the more I observe, it's amazing, the more free I become. Not ignoring, but not engaging. Just observing, like an actor watching the play from the wings. And it starts to move away from me. I'm starting to move more inward I have an interest in exploring the very center of my own inner world, very ancient, sacred, eternal, and timeless aspect of the self. And so the ordinary, the worldly, start to just fade into the distance. My vision is on the deep inside. And as I travel with my mind, holding that destination, there are many thoughts that will come, move in front of the vehicle of my mind. And I always just observe, and magically, they fade away. I continue to travel. And as I get closer and closer to the center of my inner world, the thoughts become more and more simple. The vehicle of my mind begins to slow, the thoughts slow down. There's less racing of the mind. It's becoming more quiet and more light, as if I've broken free of the gravity of worldly thoughts, worldly concerns, and now as if floating into my own inner space. There's a very calm, serene feeling, and it seems that letting go is becoming easier and easier. I can see my destination in front of me through my mind's eye. It's a single star, a single spark of light at the very center of my inner world. I focus my mind there, and the vehicle of my mind moves closer and closer, as if that's all that exists in the world, that single light. It's no ordinary star. It is radiating light, but also radiating an incredible depth of peace, a very soothing silence. So calm, the aura around that star, as if that star is living, radiating this quality of peace, a feeling of acceptance, of warmth. It is the most welcoming star. And it is comforting to be in its presence. This comforting spark at the center of my inner world. And my mind arrives so close to that tiny star. And as I focus there, I begin to feel more and more such a sense of kinship with that star, resonating deeply with its presence, and beginning to feel At the very center of my inner world, there is this star, this incredible capacity for peace, for comfort, for acceptance. And that star is me. These capacities exist constantly at the very center, the core of the self, always there, timeless, deep peace, lightness, such a sense that everything is okay, the depth of well-being. It's always there. But I spend so much time on the ground at a distance in the worldly thoughts. I never get to experience these wonderful capacities at the center of me. But at this moment, that's all I'm experiencing, is the wonder of the self, bathing in the light of that spark. That is really me, enjoying my own capacities. And the more time I spend at the center of my inner world, experience this timeless sense of myself, the more available those resources will be as I move through the outer world. I'll be more centered. And so I enjoy this feeling, this almost wonder of the self, quietly experiencing my own true nature of peace, of lightness, of patience, letting this experience imprint on me. And when I'm ready, I begin the journey outwards, but I don't leave those feelings behind. They come with me. Traveling outwards, seeing how the way my mind moves has changed. It's not racing. There's less doingness and more beingness. Going to the center of my own inner world, touching those core capacities has transformed me from a human doing into a human being. As I spend time in day-to-day life, those qualities might start to fade just a little. So I will return to the center of my inner world. Again and again, remind myself of who I really am and come back into daily life more and more centered. Om